Hello, welcome to Bad Fanfic Theater. I'm your host, Mr. Pipes. This is my co-host, Jane.
Hi.
We read it so you don't have to. Now, I want to start off with something nice for you Potterheads out there. I was going to review a certain piece I'm sure you've heard of. It's called My Immortal. But frankly, these days that's become cliche. Instead, I brought to you a lovely flaming pile of garbage called Who is Voldemort's Dad? The Tales of Vernon Dursley. Pray for us, folks. Pray for us. It was 7 o'clock, only not really, but Uncle Vernon's watch was all broken. He looked at it and said, "Fucking watch, it is broken again."
That opening line was brought to you by the Department of Redundancy.
He stepped out of the car and found himself in the middle of a car park.
I think he meant parking lot.
"I'm glad you met me here when I sent you those anonymous letters," said a mysterious voice, coming mysteriously from the bushes around the park.
Okay, I'm confused. Is this a parking lot or did the author really put them in an actual park?
It was no problem. "That is good," said the man as he jumped out of the bush. "You're Voldemort!" yelled Vernon, jumping backwards and stepping on a cat, which screamed quite loud and then ran away. "I am not just Voldemort. I am your son!" "How can this be?" he shouted. "I only have 2 kids, and they are Dudley and Harry."
Okay, do I have to say anything about the flaws here?
Then Voldemort grabbed his long wand, which was under his cloak in his pants. It was made of wood from the whomping willow tree, which made it super powerful. He pulled his wand and pointed it at Vernon, and a long shooty of white magic strings flew out of the end and landed on some stuff. "I can do magic and so can Harry. Did you think it was a reason?" "I did not think of that," Vernon confetti, as he wiped off stick magics that were on everything.
We're dealing with artistic genius here, folks.
"But you are the most powerful wizard of them all, like even more powered than Dumbledore and that dude with the turban thing put together." Vernon looked in his feelings and found that they were all true.
That's not true. That's impossible.
Even the ones that just a few short days ago would have seemed crazy to a tall, handsome, mustachioed man like himself.
My God, it finally happened. Someone made Vernon their self-insert.
He toked out his wand and pointed it at Voldemort, who was staring in amazement, and shouted, "Die, you pies of shit!" and "Abracadabra!" And a magic blast of stuff came and hit Voldemort in the face, and he exploded in a pile of ash, screeching, "I'll get you, Uncle Vernon!"
Wasn't he your long-lost father just a minute ago? Keep the story straight, please.
Vernon looked down in shock at his wand, and the magic dripping from the end told a million stories like nothing ever could.
You know, like this author?
He jumped over another car into his own car and slammed on the brakes and screamed out of the car park, laughing like a maniac.
I don't think that's how brakes work.
Meanwhile, in Hogwarts, Dumbledore looked at the letter he was writing on his magic typewriter. It said some stuff about really complicated magics, and they were too hard for any muggle to understand, even like Einstein or Obama or the dude in the wheelchair. Suddenly, he looked up at his magicometer, which was busy dancing over his desk like a man on fire, except it was not on fire. It was quite happy and singing to itself.
What a lovely mental image.
"There is a disturbance in the force," he yelled, jumping to his feet, like he wasn't a beardy guy from the Middle Ages or whatever. He jumped in his car, which was a 1961 Audi Quattro in bright red with some pink bits too, where magics had exploded. He had it made by magic, so it had like 1,000,000 horsepowers in the brakes and some rocket booster too.
Wow, that sure would have come in handy several times in the series.
He zoomed away real fast and shot by some cops. But he was magic, and their radar gun didn't work even though they were magic cops with a magic radar gun, because he was just that good at magic.
The Aurors have traffic control?
He overtaked the night bus, and that tall dude with the shorts yelled, "Watch out, you fucking psycho!" and beeped at him. But Dumbledore had a honk if you're horny sticker, and he thought he was horny. He got to Vernon fast and shouted, "You will die!" he said, and he used his wand to conjoin up a double-barrel bazooka machine pistol, which was the most powerful gun ever except a nuclear bomb, which he couldn't make because he didn't have any nuclears with him.
What, he usually has them somewheres?
He shooted it at Vernon, and he exploded because he had cast a spell at his gun, which blocked the barrel, and it went the wrong way, even though he tried to stop it because he failed.
Yes, that's what failure means.
No! He shouted as he blew up, and bits of beard splattered all over his car, which became Vernon's now, because he had left the keys behind, and Vernon could steal them and use them to go driving wherever he wanted, even the sea, because it was magic. Now I will become the new headmaster of Hogwarts. There will be a few changes around here, let me tell you. 4 days and like 15 hours or something later. Introducing your new head teacher, Vernon Dursley, shouted Snape into a big microphone at the big dance. Vernon jumped on stage and grabbed the microphone and also a guitar and his wand. He started moshing out to chasing cars, because he had been chasing cars early.
Don't worry, I don't get it either.
And soon everyone was joining in, and it was really good, and some peeps even started moshing on the stage, and security had to come in and pull them off. Harry was delighted that his dad had finally accepted him for what he was, a magical dude, and moshed harder than anyone, even though his glasses fell off and smashed, and someone jumped on them, and then a bird came and stole them away.
Dear writer, Vernon was never Harry's dad.
Ginny walked over and started snogging him real good, like she's never snogged before, which she hadn't because she was a virgin, or at least almost one because this time she touched Ron, but they were cousins, so it didn't really count.
I have a headache.
Later they went up to the makeout point and did some sex in Vernon's old car. 10 years later. Vernon was angry at Harry for getting Ginny all teen pregnant and stuff, but then he looked at the cute baby in his hand, and his heart melted and came out his mouth.
Ew.
In the form of a smile and also drool.
Wait, Harry got Ginny pregnant 10 years ago and it's still just a baby?
This is a happy day for everyone in the Dudley family and the Weasley family and the Potter family, he yelled at everyone at the party. Can you sing for old time's sake? Yelped Arthur, who was keeping it real on the dance floor.
I love Arthur.
So Vernon got on stage and sung that song that made the baby, and everyone was happy except Ron, who was a bit jealous but also happy.
Jealous of what?
Outside the gig. We're back and joined forces and stronger than ever, said Voldemort and Dumbledore at the same time.
Dun, dun, dun.
Thank you for tuning in.